Welcome everyone to my new video series for Breakout Prop Firm. Today we're gonna make an honest review and touch bases with the platform and of course share with you in a comprehensive way all the details needed for you to be able to make your best decisions. So for those of you that have questions correlated with anything, make sure to let me know in the comments area. You can also join our Discord community for free. The link is there in the comments. This is the place our prop firm community is located. We're basically having 600 to 700 active traders in the prop firms, and we're also trading daily live on the live stream from 8 a.m. EST time. You can join us on board right there on this YouTube channel. Right, so speaking about Breakout Prop Firm, well, prop firms have been exploding in 2025, and this option right here is focusing for the crypto space. It's a legit prop firm, and that's from where we start. It's a prop firm acquired by the Kraken exchange from the crypto space. For those of you that are not familiar with this US-based crypto exchange, Kraken is as well with Breakout too. It's US-based, $2.8 billion for the last 24 hours. This is what Kraken is having, tremendous amount of volume in trading, and Kraken also on their X 1.7 million followers. So we're speaking about one of the biggest exchanges out there in the world related to the crypto space. They acquired Breakout Prop Firm and nicely working around the process because it's a highest score out there, 4.9, coming through all the reviews on the Trustpilot. Right, so today I'd like to share with you other details as well that are pretty much way more educational. Now, think about it. Without depositing your own money, you can start trading accounts that are worth 100,000, 50,000, 200,000, and so on. Why? Well, simply you buy a challenge, and this is how it works in the prop firms. You buy a challenge, you pass the challenge, and you get funded. It doesn't mean you get funded with real money. You get funded with simulated capital. That's right. But from the funded stage, you can request payouts and get paid real money. Basically, the possibilities of purchasing accounts and getting paid is possible through cryptos. It's also possible to purchase accounts through credit cards. However, what is very important is that you can trade $100,000 accounts, for example. This one, by simply, if we go to the 100K, by simply spending $1,000. Right? So 1% of the account size. You're spending $1,000 on the evaluation fee. You pass the evaluation. The evaluation is like a test. You pass the test, which means you have to achieve the targets of that test. And then you get funded. In the funded stage, you have the ability to request the money you're making from that account. Your account is going to be starting from scratch, from 100K, but we're going to take things step by step, guys, and explain you everything a little bit different. A couple of things that people need to know. You can request your payouts on demand anytime you have your profits in your funded stage, not from the challenge stage. From the challenge stage, you cannot request your payouts. From the challenge, your target is to become funded. So once you become funded, you can request payouts even multiple times a day, pretty much every single day. You can pass your trading test, your challenge, in the same day you're buying the account. No minimum or maximum time needed for that. Simply just buy the account, and as fast or in the way you can with your strategies of trading, you can pass your test like that. No consistency at all on the challenge, no consistency on the funded stage, which means if you're making $5,000 in a day on the funded, you take out that $5,000. That's right. Another very important thing is no profit limits, profit caps, and withdrawal caps on your funded stage. And that's incredible, guys, which is why Breakout Prop Firm is having massive success out there. Because if you're making 20 grand in your account, you can take 20 grand from the first payout. If you're making 5 grand, you can take 5 grand, whatever amount, it doesn't matter. You don't have caps, you don't have limits on that. Great trading environment, no deposits needed. It's just to buy the challenge, and you're passing the challenge, you're good to go. And that's the only money you might lose if you are touching the maximum loss limits, the amount you paid for the challenge, right? So they've been online since 2023, issued more than 20,000 funded accounts with zero payout delays, We do know people, even from our community, that got paid basically in a matter of a few hours. Usually the payout time is around 24 business hours, right? So that's the timing. It's pretty simple, guys. You can become a trader, and this is exclusively for the crypto space and for the cryptos. I'd like to share with you as well what kind of cryptos you will be able to trade here. There is a leverage to the whole process. Let me just do it this way. There is a leverage to the whole process, and the leverage is automatically applied. 5x leverage for BTC and Ethereum, which is automatically applied, and 2x leverage for all the other instruments that are listed here, right? So you will be able to go to the page symbols, and you can see all the cryptos you can trade on their platform. It's a very user-friendly platform. I'm going to make a video on that one too, and share with you how does the Breakout terminal looks like, because that's the place you're trading this accounts you're buying, the challenges and the funded accounts. It's looking like an exchange, like a platform that is user friendly, but again, I'll make a video specifically about that one for sure. So if 5x is applied and you're having the ability to buy an account that is 100k, right? What does it mean? Well, it means that you can trade actually a $500,000 capital as a max size if you're buying this 100k, and if you're using all the margin, you're actually trading on a 5x leverage, especially if you're trading the symbol of BTC and Ethereum. Then if you're going with the entire margin, you're going to trade $500,000. Think about it. Yep. So of course you don't have to do that. If you want to trade with just $10,000, then you divide your you divide by 5, and you discover what is the margin needed to be used, right? It's simple. If you want to trade, for example, $10,000, but I'm going to explain you that later on, because you don't have to trade on a higher size. Once we get into that video where I talk about the trading platform itself, if you want to trade $10,000, divide it to 5, and you see what is the margin that is needed to be used. 2,000. Well, that's the margin I have to use. And then I have a final position of 10,000 if I trade something on 5x leverage. Beautiful, guys. So there's multiple possibilities here. I mean, you have possibilities, and let me explain you. One-step challenges or two-step challenges. What are the differences? The differences are that the one-step challenge is you only need to hit your step 1 target and you become funded. The two-step challenge means you have 2 challenges. You got to hit your first goal, and then you're starting from scratch, going for the second goal. So you kind of have 2 steps as challenges before you get funded. The 2 steps will always be cheaper because it requires a better performance for you. For example, the 100k here is $725, or the difference with $999. It's cheaper, basically $725. But there is a very small distance. Yet, if we look into the step number 1 goal, $10,000 on 100k, that's basically 10%. So you have to make 10%. Meanwhile, for the 2-step, you have to make 5% in your first step, and then your second step, second challenge, 10%. So that's basically a 5% extra that needs to be made by you, which means a 50% extra. $5,000 is actually 50% extra than 1 step, because you got to do 15 grand. The extra value is 50%, and the amount is just $200 as a gap between the prices. Of course, you don't need to start with 100k. You have the other options as well, starting as low as the $5,000 account, which is $60 over there, or 50 on the other side. You have the $10,000 account, you have the $25,000 account, $50,000 account, and the $100,000 account. So I'm giving you the examples out here for you to get familiar with the numbers. But of course, I'd like to look into the $100,000, which is way more attractive. Now, how does it work? Let's take it step by step. You buy the account, you buy the challenge, you pay this value. If you buy this 100k, or if you buy from the 5k, you pay the value it's costing you there. Great, 1-step challenge. If you're looking at the classic version, we're going to talk about the elite version as well, but the classic is pretty much better. However, we're going to have a video with comparing and explaining more details. Yet the fact that I'll explain you why is it better. You care about 2 very important things in terms of risks. When do I lose this $1,000, 999? When do I lose it? I lose this if my daily loss limit is touched or my max drawdown is touched, right? So one of those two is a problem because your account is going to be breached and you will lose it. So your 1,000 is going to be lost. So what does it mean? It means if you're losing in a day 4%, you're losing the account. If you're totally losing, and these are the two things you got to consider, if you're totally losing in the account 6,000, you also lose the account. And then you lost the 1,000. So if you're touching your step 1 target before hitting one of those 2 hard breaches, you are going to be funded. The funded stage has the same conditions like the challenge stage in terms of max daily loss and max drawdown. It's just that you no longer have a goal in the funded stage because simply you're already funded and whatever money you make, you can take it out as long as it's above $50, right? From the first day, think about it. From the first day, from the first moment. So you just got to make this 10%. And if you think about, you're trading on 5x leverage with BTC and Ethereum. 5x leverage. So that's it, with the entire margin, with the entire account, you need to do 2%. And you've passed your challenge. If you're using the entire margin, you need to do 2% and you've passed your challenge. It's 10% basically, but because it's 5x leverage, the 2% market movement on 5x leverage equals with 10%. Of course, on the other side, you got to be careful with a max daily loss too, because it's a hard breach. So if you're touching this, you lost the account. What are the ways of not touching it? Well, first of all, have a good trade. If that is not the case, then simply you put a stop loss prior to that, like 0.5% prior to that, or 1% prior to that. You pretty much have access to the clear numbers from your dashboard, guys, where you will be able to look at that. This is my dashboard, and we're looking at a breached account where I hit a max drawdown. You clearly have access to maximum daily loss, and it tells you real time. And you will see what is it, right? You clearly have access to that. You also have access basically to the maximum loss, the 2 things you gotta be aware of, including the target. If you get to the target, this is just a challenge, an evaluation. I didn't pass this challenge. Then you become funded, straightforward. But you'll have clear numbers that you have to avoid. That 5% loss is possible to be avoided. And if your trade is in minus, you just set a stop loss. The stop loss is set from the trading terminal at 3% of your entry. At 3%, it's a soft breach. You're no longer going to lose your account. And then the next day you resume trading because you have the next day, your daily loss is refreshing at 12:30 a.m. UTC time. Your daily loss is adjusted to the value of your account from that moment. At 12:30 a.m. UTC time, your daily loss is adjusted. Right? So the next day, you have again room to trade. Careful with these 2 things. $6,000 drawdown, 4% on the other side. $4,000 is basically. You can put your stop loss at 3,500 and you're fine with that. And this sort of, on the other side, it's a little bit different. The max daily loss is 5% basically for the 2-step, right? So you have an additional 1%. The max drawdown is basically $8,000. You have an additional 2%, $2,000 there. Which means if I lose $4,000 in the first day, then my max drawdown is basically another $4,000 from there in the next day, right? My daily loss is going to be bigger percentage-wise, but simply my max drawdown is going to be closer to me, and I have to be careful with that one too. Beautiful. So this is the way it works, guys. It's simple, straightforward, and it works nicely. So there's basically the elite accounts that I'd like to talk to you about. Oh yeah, about the payouts. The payouts are 80% to 20%. So you pass the challenge, you become funded, you receive 80% of whatever you cash out. 80%. If you want to receive 90, you can do that by purchasing the add-on for the 90% at the time you buy an account. Let's just go basically right now to the classic 100K, and we click on the start trading here. I think I'm already logged in my account. Yes. So we have the account type, one step, classic, account balance. We can buy the add-on if we think we would like to increase our profit for this specifically account. But then, of course, for those of you that would like discount, you have the affiliate code here. If you put Scramble, you'll receive the maximum discount available. Breakout Prop Firm is not giving tremendous or crazy discounts, but whatever they give, I've negotiated for the best discount available, and the Scramble coupon code will always give you the best. Basically, it's 2%. 2% on any purchase, you have that discount. For $1,000, it's $20. Right, by using that code, you pretty much get access, and then you just purchase and you're good to go. If you turn on the 90 to 10, then it will cost you basically $100 more. So for $100 extra, you receive 90% of your cash out from the funded stage instead of 80% for $100 extra. Yeah, that's the way it works when it comes down to the purchasing side. Simple and straightforward. You're going to get your account in your dashboard area, and then from there you can trade on the trading terminal. The trading terminal is here. We're going to make a video specifically with the trading terminal of the Breakout Prop Firm. You know, the elite function, I've said, the elite side is a little bit different because you have the ability to have 200 grand accounts. When it says no consistency on the challenge, you can pass it in a day. You can trade news. You can trade DCA. You can do micro scalping. You can do scalpings. You can do flipping. You can do whatever you want. Of course, the max allocation, and think about it and remember this, the max allocation, like this is one of the questions, how many accounts can I have? You can have basically $200,000 worth of funded accounts. $200,000 worth of maximum allocation in funded accounts. So 2 of 100K, 4 of 50K, you know, and so on. You can do the math. 20 of 10K and so on, right? So you're not limited on the number of accounts. You're actually limited on the sizing of the accounts. And that's something definitely to consider around it. Let me just look into the combined version because I spoke with their chat. Max allocation for challenge and funded. Here's clearly explained. So your funded accounts, like I said, $200,000. You can only trade a single evaluation at a time. You cannot trade 2 evaluations at a time or more, a single evaluation at a time. Once you pass or fail the evaluation, you can purchase and begin a new one. Combined trading between evaluations and funded. Let's say that you only have $100,000 funded or 50 grand funded, and you'd like to increase and have more accounts. Not increase the current size, certainly that's not possible, but have more accounts in the funded area, up to the 200 grand, that's the limit. You may trade one breakout evaluation alongside with your funded accounts as long as you only trade one evaluation at a time. So you can have multiple funded. If you have 2 funded of 50K, that's 100 grand allocation. You can have one more evaluation. You can always have one more evaluation next to the funded ones you have, right? So that's the way it works. 200 grand totally for the allocation. Keep that in mind, guys. Now, there's differences, like I said, between the classic and elite, and the differences are with the elite is that your step number 1 targets are basically higher. For example, for the Pro version on 100K is 12%. In a Classic is 10%, right? So it's much better. There's also 9% here for the Turbo, but the problem is that your max drawdown is $3,000 only, right? So with a Classic version, the max drawdown is $6,000. That's double, guys, and that makes the difference. Trust me. I mean, yesterday on the live stream, we made $4,000 and so on a copy trade. We made $4,000 on an account that we actually copy traded on a different prop firm, but we had $700 drawdown left, and we made $4,000. If that $700 would have missed, I wouldn't be able to do that $4,000, and we passed the challenge by making that $4,000. So think about it. I mean, every single $100 can make the difference, one way or the other. Even when you're close to the payout, and there's $100 needed to be earned, you might lose the account, just like basically with the ability of saving the account if you're $100 away from the max loss. But that's a difference right there. This account certainly I'm not suggesting, and no wonder they are cheaper, $720 if you're looking at the 100K. If you're looking at the Classic version 100K, it's $999. So for $200 extra, for $200 extra, that drawdown is really needed, because you get $3,000 extra drawdown for $200. And basically that's what you're buying here. You're buying drawdown. So for $1,000, you're purchasing $6,000 drawdown. Right? I think that's great, guys. That's great. It's like you're buying an account which has 6,000 inside. It doesn't matter it says it has 100, because you cannot deal with that 94. However, you can't deal with that. You're buying an account with 1,000 that has 6,000 inside. If you lose that 6,000, the account is gone. Or if you lose 4,000 in a day, the account is gone as well. Make 10 grand with that 100, and that extra capital that you have helps you, because you can make that your target of 10% here. Classic one step is the best option on any account sizing. If you look into the Elite, I mean, 200K is something interesting. Certainly not with a turbo. Certainly not with a turbo. But with the, for those of you that are having strong trading capabilities, well, look at that. This is basically 12% target. 24K is 12%, right? Daily loss will be kept at 3%, which is $6,000. That's good. But your max drawdown is basically $10,000, $1,500. Imagine to be funded on this one. To reach the funded stage, make that 12%. I mean, 12% on a 5x leverage is basically 2.5%, right? If you do the math, something around that. Just divide 12 to 5. If you do max allocation, 2.4% market movement. If market moves 2.4% and you have a max allocation, you basically reach the step number one goal. And that's the only goal here. However, doing max allocation means also to be very close and quite quickly to the max daily loss, and you don't want that one. So obviously you don't go max allocation. Now, evaluation fee. Well, think about you have your 200 grand funded, and the market moves. You can trade even, a 200 grand size. The market moves 1%. You made $2,000 during that day. Market moves. I mean, cryptos do move a lot, right? Even BTC, Ethereum, 1% a day. As soon as it just moved up 1%, you're taking it out, and you have your nice $2,000. Think about it, which is already more than what you have paid. So having a funded of 200K is tremendously valuable. Think we got days when the market is moving 5, 6, 7, 8%. Let alone in the crypto space, we've got days when the market is moving 20%. If the market moves 20% and your trade is there, you made 40 grand. 40 grand, guys. Beautiful. Now, what about the need of closing my trades? Well, for the funded accounts, you don't have to close your trades on a specific schedule. You can hold your positions for as long as you like, including over weekends. You just need to know that your max daily loss will be adjusted every single day. at 12:30 a.m. UTC time towards the balance you have in that minute, right? So 3% away if we are, if we're on the classic 100K, 4% away from the one step, 4% away from that 12:30 a.m. UTC time, your balance at that very moment, 4%. Your daily loss limit is calculated daily. So you can't have basically an entry that you made 3 weeks ago and your daily loss is basically 20% because the market's moved that much. You just, no, certainly not. The daily loss limit, it kind of follows you at resets every single day because it comes 4% close to you. If you made 20% during the day, beautiful, that's great, that's fine. You can hold your trade tomorrow as well, but you want to keep in mind that you have their daily loss there set by that one and you want to take care about it, right? You got to put a new stop loss, not touching your new daily loss value. Because if you touch that, you lose the account. And that's the thing you got to be careful about. So you either close your trade and that's it, or simply you adjust your stop loss to the new value with your new daily loss. That's the thing, guys. You cannot have open positions when you're requesting a payout and reaching the profit targets during valuations. Positions are automatically closed when you hit the profit target and advance to the next phase, right? So you cannot have a position from the challenge phase into the funded phase. And that's kind of pretty much all about it, guys. I'm also going to share with you trading happening on their trading terminal. I'll have a video about that one. I'll have more videos in terms of educations and stuff, more videos about the whole process and whole procedure with a breakout prop firm. Any questions in the comments area? Maximum discount for the moment is 2%. Scramble is the coupon code. If this discount is changing, you're always going to benefit of the highest discount with my code. It is a amazing prop firm out there in the crypto space dominating, and this is going to explode, guys. Backed up by Kraken. It's just tremendous out there. Thank you guys once again for watching this. Make sure to join our Discord, our great community there of traders. Join our daily live stream from 8 a.m. EST time on YouTube right here. We're trading our accounts on the prop firms. We're live with our great community and we do giveaways on share accounts. Once again, have a lovely time, lovely days. Link in the comments area, in the description area with a discount code, with the affiliate code. Have a lovely time. We'll talk to you soon.